One more to get to before the ASUN tournament. Sunday, unranked Illinois at number 15, Michigan. KenPom has this one, Michigan -2. Obviously, no line out yet as we're recording here on Friday. Wolverines 9-3 in their last 12 games. Haven't won a single one of those games by more than 4 points. Their losses, couple of them by double figures. Dylan Harper falls asleep defensively, allows Namari Burnett to hit the game-winning walk-off three in the final seconds on Thursday night. You also have the win a week and a half or so ago against Ohio State where Bruce Thornton misses a bunny in the lane to send that game to overtime. But conversely, Illinois, since the beginning of February, I hinted at this earlier when I was comparing numbers between A&M and Mississippi State and the Illini. Illinois is the worst net three-point percentage combined over the last month. Negative 16.4% in terms of their three-point shooting versus the opposition. They're due for three-point variance. I think Yakachonis and Avicic can have their way against Michigan's drop coverage and this lock box run. But I will say, the one thing that makes me hesitant to fade Michigan here, we saw it in 2022 with Providence. They had a 9-1 stretch where they were plus 28 with their point differential. If you recall, Justin, they were winning one possession game after one possession game. So I wonder, is Michigan just playing to its talent level? And yes, they're getting lucky, but maybe it is somewhat sustainable. So I'm curious to see where this number opens before I pull the trigger on Illinois.
Yeah, Michigan, man. I think they're a little bit of a false flag operation for luck and what luck looks like in college basketball. And people will routinely say, oh, you're winning close games, you must be lucky. Well, what if you're shooting badly to end up in a close game and your median performance is higher? Like, that's what Michigan's doing. A 17-point negative differential in a 9-3 stretch is a plus 23 differential shot quality. That's 40 points. Good math, Justin. Good math. 40 points difference in terms of what shot quality is seeing and the actual in 12 games. So very, very easy to understand that a 3-point extra oomph from shot quality, that's a bettable edge. That is a bettable edge. So, I mean, if the market moves against Michigan, you might see me take them.
It will.
What's the number?
Well, we have no number just from the market, but I guarantee you this one could close pick. I would not be shocked. Would that mean a play on Michigan?
If it's Michigan pick'em, oh man, that's interesting. At home against Illinois, who is definitely good, but I don't know about. It's like, yeah, if it's pick'em plus, if it gets to plus 1.5, I'm there. Like yeah, 2 is a bet for sure. I mean, it won't get there. But yeah, I do think this is about as much of a bet on this type of game as you're going to get from me at this point in the season. Like, I rarely bet a Power 5 game at the end of the season. It's just nearly impossible. You're flipping the coin, in my opinion, and I wouldn't be doing that. I really have to have an edge on them, which is why in the last week and a half of the season, my card is 90% mid majors and low majors.
We don't talk about this enough. We have, though, in pockets of our Beat the Closing Number shows for college basketball purposes. But is this a game that you bet live and just wait?
Yeah. I mean, any game I bet live if the data looks right. I would either team getting out of this. Yeah. If it's some cold shooting, I would expect it to come back into the realm of reality. Honestly.
Okay. So maybe a play on Michigan for Justin pregame. Maybe a play opposite of that on Illinois for me, but I expect this one to be in the pick'em range where maybe both of us are staying on the sideline and waiting to bet this one live. I'm still not sold on Michigan, but the Providence thought looms in my head and lurks in my head a little bit. To your point, outside of the Rutgers game, this team has been up 2 or so possessions in a multitude of these one possession wins. So how much is the one possession win to
10-point shot quality win against Rutgers, by the way.
Interesting. Despite trailing for much of that game. Yeah, I mean, actually, I say that, but you watch it, and Rutgers was shooting out of their minds.
I mean, if you ever watched Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper play basketball, they are insanely good, and they can do insanely talented things. And, you probably want to knock it down a peg, maybe call it 7.5, just give them a little bit of that extra credit of being just that much better that they can go out and get those buckets. That shot quality might not love to give them credit for above expectation because they just are that nice. And Harper and Bailey, honestly, Bailey's game has improved in the last 3 weeks. So, you can use shot quality as a foundational tool that I consider like a Rosetta Stone. I don't really think. Well, look, because it doesn't. You don't have to think it's like accepted. You don't have to say that it's the truth. But
but is Rosetta Stone unaccepted in the language learning space?
No. But what it really did, it wasn't because what it is like no one language on the stone is right. That's the point.
Yeah, that's true.
It's that you now get to triangulate between them to understand the one that might be missing here perfectly, which is reality and predicting, because you get what's actually happening, what's expected to happen, and then what's going to happen in the future. And trying to just connect that linearly without having that third point, I think even if you don't think shot quality is 100% right 100% of the time, it acts consistently and almost speaks and interprets the game a different way so consistently that you can read between the lines to understand relationships, even if you don't think SQ's perfect at determining them, because it determines them the same way every time. So there's something to be said to have this system there that does that, even if hypothetically it's a 95% accurate system.